Welcome, Echoes. I am Evie, the Disaster GM. Pronouns are she, they, or any, and I am the GM for this fine disastrous group. Let's go ahead and go around and do our introductions. Starting with Alina today.
Hey everybody, I am Elena Pete. I use they, them pronouns, and I will be playing Sev or Vrak, who also uses they, them pronouns. They are, I've forgotten all of the things. Hang on half a second. What's my character sheet? They are a charming speaker who wears a crown of ice. I got it.
Beautiful.
Very good at
wonderful. This. We're still in those first couple of episodes, and
our second
game. It is not an AEA stream without something being disastrous in some fashion.
At least now the rest of you know to look at your character sheet before you do your intros. So
yeah. Good. Joel, let's jump over to you.
Hello, I am Joel. I use any pronouns. I just stepped on one of my very sharp dice. I'm fine, but I didn't realize he had fallen. And I will be playing the much less injured Senor Fluffington, who is he is a rugged explorer who is one with beasts.
One with beasts is definitely a way to put that.
Who is one of the beasts.
Kinda, yeah. But yes, and last but certainly not least, Amanda.
Hello everyone, I'm Amanda Johnson. I use she, her pronouns. I will be playing Rosa, who uses she, her, and Thorn, also she, her, who is a resilient explorer who masters the swarm.
Yo.
And if you see me grimace at any time, it's because my cat decided to eat my foot, so that'll be fun. The stream.
Cats. That's cats. Fully expected, but yeah. Crap. Another one. Just a second.
I got
We've
it.
got a
I
bot
got
in
it.
chat. You
I
got
got
it?
it.
Thank
I got
you.
it.
So bots are not welcome in chat, other than the one that we have put in there ourselves.
I like that we have cats, dogs, and birds represented on all of the streams.
Okay.
There may be birds on my screen.
Yeah. So Ollie is somewhere in the background, but I am not changing my background because
Very
that will
cool
completely fuck over our entire overlay. So we're just going to leave that as is. But as you might have been able to tell, this is Once Upon a Reflection, a Cypher system-based TTRPG. We are in episode 3. Brian just hit me upside the back of the head. But yes, so we are in episode 3 of Once Upon a Reflection. You might also see in the corner of our screen that we are doing a Tiltify donation campaign for Congo for Tomorrow. Congo for Tomorrow is a non-governmental organization created to improve the future of the Democratic Republic of Congo. I got that in one this time. Through better learning infrastructures. No, AEA sees no part of donations, so you can either check it out by scanning the QR code, or if you are watching live via Twitch chat, it is in the Twitch chat. We are also, as you might be able to see from the bottom of the screen, dual streaming in both Twitch and YouTube. If you are watching live on YouTube, just check out the description. But with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and roll into our content warning and the actual game. As a content warning, we at the Archives would like to remind the audience that this is an adult content rated game, with depictions of violence, possible mentions of loss or trauma, and or similar content. We do our best not to cross each other's lines, but for those listening, you have been warned. Last time, for the first time in years, or potentially the first remembered time in years, for at least one of the group, they were all drawn back into the fairy tale lands that they had visited and or frequented when they were younger. Some have perhaps been taking time there in the interim on occasion. Some have not voluntarily been back in many years, but when summoned there after interacting with each other in their own special little way, due mostly to Vrac freaking the fuck out where they fell through the reflections into fairy tale world, they did eventually fall under the thrall of something calling them, drawing them in a particular direction with the intent of, there is a reflection here. The animals also participated in this, helping to lead the group to this strange golden pool that at a certain point they all fell through again and ended up in an unknown area on a mirror still lake, speaking to a Rumpelstiltskin-esque impression of a personality from one of the previous guardians of the balance between fairy tale world and the mortal world. They were instructed they were the new chosen ones, and that there wasn't really a lot to inform them on how things worked, just that they would get a feeling, they would end up in the right place at the right time usually, and it was their job to make sure that reality didn't unmake itself. Congratulations. He was not exactly the most helpful of people, but they also were not the most cooperative of chosen ones, which, you know, who can blame them? After their interaction, they did eventually land themselves back into the real world and into their real lives a little bit after where Vrac slash Sev might have wanted to be, but it has been maybe a week or two. And we will start with Signor Fluffington. You are once again in the fairy tale world, having followed a particular scent that seemed very familiar to you. And at present, it has led you to this little elfin goblinoid creature, maybe a foot tall, that is currently attempting to repack its bag from whatever camping trip it had on the shoreline of a river. You've crossed this river 2 or 3 times maybe in the couple of years that you have been back to Fairy Tale World, but you have not encountered one of these creatures before.
Okay. I will sniff towards them, see what they smell like.
So you're just directly approaching them and you're going to sniff the creature?
No, I stop
Okay.
and I sniff in their direction just to see if do they smell like a good person?
Well, they kind of smell like a goblin. So a little bit of like wet, muddy earth and clay, a little bit of their last meal, which probably consisted of rancid meat, a little bit of like the wilderness, some of like leather tanning materials, which is very ammonia forward, and then you get little hints of sugar and sweetness like underlying it all, and you can tell that's possibly from the like small snack that it has off to the side that looks to be some sort of candy implement of some kind.
They have food. They're probably good people. Hello.
Wolf person. Hi, hello, wolf person. When did you
I'm a
arrive?
dog.
You're a dog wolf person. Either way, you're furry. Yes. How can I help? How can I help you?
I don't actually know. I've realized. Just out of am I being led to this person, or is this person just in my path? I
This
realize I
person
don't
just kind
know.
of happened to be in your path as you were following a familiar scent. You don't know what the scent is,
Got it.
but
Okay.
the person just kind of happens to be in your path and is something that you have never encountered before.
What are you?
I am a skev. A skev.
A what?
A skev. I am a
A
skev.
what? I don't know what that is. What is that?
That is me. I am a skev.
I guess that makes sense. Yes. Okay. And I will continue following the scent.
Okay.
But
So, yeah, so it's like watches you as you like kind of walk past and is very confused by this entire ASKEFF, a skeff.
a scuff.
Well, I have Amanda in chat going a scav, a scap, a scam.
Oh no, Google Translate the captions were like, I have no idea what this word is. I'm gonna try my best.
Yeah, Google Translate. But yeah, so it like watches you in a little bit of confusion and concern because you stopped to like talk at it, and it's just kind of watching you walk past, like kind of protecting its bag a little bit.
Strange wolf person. Strange wolf person.
Sorry, what? What was that?
You're a strange wolf person.
I'm not a wolf person. That's probably why.
You look like wolf person.
No, I'm a Chihuahua.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I don't. It's like a dog. Well, it's a dog, not like a dog, because I am a dog, and I am a Chihuahua. Therefore, it's a dog.
You're a wolf person.
No, I'm not a wolf or a person. I'm a dog. Okay, bye.
It's just like watching you. It's the talking dog thing is not what threw it. It's that you don't look like just a dog.
Makes sense.
But yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah. So he watches as you pass by, and you just kind of end up wandering through into the forest. It is kind of as typical and as magical as you have kind of come to expect from your previous encounters with the fairy tale world.
Wow.
But we will briefly slip over to the real world. Just a minute. To the real world, where Severn, has been dealing with the aftermath of that accidental missing of a show. And every time
Not
you
quite
pass by
front man
anything
to be
reflective,
missing.
yeah, and every time you have passed by something reflective ever since, you've seen hints of the other world calling to you.
I don't like mirrors. I pass by them very quickly now, often scowling at them, which is unusual. Seb's bandmates notice because usually they're like always like checking up their hair, fucking around with their makeup. Now they're like got like a cloth hung over their mirror in the van. Like, fuck's up? And they're like, don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't ask me about it.
Okay.
Getting a little weird.
Yeah. So, where would you say you are currently heading to about a week or so after this last encounter?
I think at this point we are probably in a different city than we were for the first one. We've got our little shitty van that we make just enough money at most shows to keep gas in, but it's it's not in great shape. And we scraped together some money to get like the cheapest, most awful motel rooms, and usually it's like the whole band in one motel room. People sleeping on the floors, people sleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point. Yeah, my bird is being very loud.
Oh, of course.
At this point, maybe the band has gone off to find some food or something, and Seb's alone in the room finally,
Mm-hmm.
just watching something awful on TV.
Okay. Give me an intellect-based roll for common sense, we'll call it.
That's what I'm known for. That's a 12.
Okay. It's starting to get fairly dark outside. It's evening-ish, we'll call it, which means that the windows will, as one of our characters learned in their introduction, the windows will very quickly go from easily seen through and a very shitty view that you were enjoying to reflective. And now you are currently faced with the dilemma of getting up, going closer, potentially having to look at whatever you see there long enough to pull the blinds and the curtains, or ignore it.
I glance over to the mirror. I've thrown a cloth, and my bandmates are like, "What the fuck's up with Seb? I don't know, man." just acting weird. Ever since they missed that concert, they've been acting weird. But Seb's putting up with the teasing.
Yeah.
And mostly is watching this awful TV show that they're not really interested in, because if the TV is off, it is also a reflective surface.
Yes, it is.
They
Reflections are everywhere.
Weird. Once you start noticing, you can't stop. And so they glance over at the window and sort of frown, but they don't want to get any closer. So they're like trying to concentrate on the TV show that they're not interested in.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 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 And
But even then, I think when the TV goes dark, like for a commercial break or something, there's that little flicker of the reflection of them sitting in the hotel room.
yeah. Oh yeah. So it is. You kind of expected your bandmates back, maybe in the next 30 minutes to an hour, unless they happen to also be grabbing drinks, which at that point, who knows?
At that point, they'll probably text me and get me to join them.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So you haven't experienced that yet, but as it does get darker and dinner time would be finishing, you do start to notice more and more flickers out of the corner of your eye at the window. And
In my head, I'm like, I am not going to shut the window. I'm going to go past the window to go outside and have a smoke.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that thing where you're like very deliberately trying not to look at the thing, and that means you might have to look at it.
Yeah, and it at this point, it almost seems like you see someone out there, and you're trying really hard not to look to see if there is actually someone on the other side of the window, because it's a shitty motel room. You are not on the top floor. You are like
Definitely not.
facing the you're like facing the parking lot with a door directly out into it.
Yeah.
And it's like beat up, and you guys are having to share two tiny little full size beds. It's not great.
Yeah. And Seb's doing the thing where they're like, I'm not afraid of these reflections. I just don't want to look at them, but I'm not afraid of them. They kind of like
Definitely.
swagger up to the window, and they go to grab the curtains on either side and pull them shut. But of course, in that moment where it's fully black and you see yourself in the mirror, that's when it's the most reflective,
Yeah.
when it's dark outside. So they see whatever is out there before
Okay.
they try and close the windows.
Okay. So with that, you would first see the transition of what you expect to be your reflection into Vrak's reflection. And then it's almost this split second of satisfaction as you see instead a little goblin creature instead.
That I'm about to yank the curtains closed so I don't have to look at Vrak, and then that stops me
Yeah.
mid pull.
It is trudging along a little forest path with a much too big little bag on its back. Small for a little goblin creature. Like, it's definitely on the small side for them. But it is not traveling with its pack. It is traveling alone with a very, very large pack of things, and seems to be mumbling to itself and like waddling along. So it's less of a like steady trudge and more of a like
Yeah.
as it's going.
Sev doesn't close the window. They'll actually lower their hands for a second, kind of cross their arms, and just watch this little guy. Because that's unusual to see one of them on their own like this, especially with a pack that big.
Yeah. Watching it after a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, however long you choose,
Yeah.
it does eventually stop and seem to look around and shift the pack that is almost as big as it is, looking curiously, kind of like it's lost, and then starts shuffling around in its clothing, which is somewhat tattered, and then lifts up this very beaten up patchwork brownish green cap and like pulls something out of it and starts looking at it, unfolding it and unfolding it, way too big to have fit in the hat, and the map that it seems to be looking at, you can't quite make out, is a map, though, larger than they are, and it's just kind of like trying to spread it out and get a gauge on where it is. But it
Sev's
does
just
seem
muttering
to
to
be
himself,
lost.
like,
Yeah.
get a move on, you idiot. You're just standing out in the open. Anything could get you. Come on, get moving. And it can't hear them through the mirror, but they're like they were watching a TV show now that actually holds their interest. They're like trying to be like, come on, you idiot, keep moving, like you do when you watch a horror movie.
It folds a section of the map, unfolds another one, like starts messing with it, turns it completely the other way around. Wads it back up in a ball, which when it opens its hand, it's perfectly folded, shoves it underneath its hat again, and starts waddling slowly down a path, nods to itself, and then starts waddling along again.
Sev goes to like to put their hand through the mirror because they're like to say something, and then they like pull it back as Rack's reflection comes up to meet theirs, and they seem to hesitate for a minute, and then they're going to very slowly peek their head through, hopefully so the goblin doesn't see them, but look up the path that he's going.
Okay. I would like you to first make an intellect based roll to control your attempted pass through or partial pass through of the reflection. This
I'm great at this. I've never done it before.
Yeah, this is a difficulty 5.
Cool. So me rolling a 9 is probably not great.
Not the most amazing roll, no. So you do manage to pass through. You don't have much of a control on how much of yourself passes through, because passing through as just part of yourself as opposed to your entire body is somewhat difficult. It's not impossible, it's just somewhat difficult, and you would not be considered even practiced at this. The other two, having voluntarily gone through multiple times, are considered practiced, so their difficulty is a 4 when they make this attempt.
Can I say that as I'm falling through, I kind of grab for whatever is out in the room to like stop me from falling in, and I happen to grab just my guitar case, and it pulls through with me because obviously it's not nailed down to the wall or anything.
Sure. We'll say you grabbed your guitar case instead of the curtains.
And so I go to peek through, and instead I just go like, whomp.
Yeah. You have slipped through this strange, slick, glistening. I don't even really want to call it a fungus. It's more like this weird, shiny lichen that's growing up and down one of the trees in the forest that has just enough of a reflection to have allowed you to see through and pass. But you do go tumbling onto the forest path, maybe 5 feet down.
I fully faceplant into the moss, just like wood.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a clang as the guitar case clatters on the ground.
You hear
whatever is nearby has heard me, I'm sure.
Yeah. You hear the distinctive of a little goblin that has been startled by
and the goblin hears a fuck.
An like unusual sound.
Wind knocked out of me.
And then the very fast, panicked scurrying of feet, a couple of thumps of it running into something, and then nothing.
I will look up after the goblin. Still wiping my face off because I've got moss and crap in my hair now.
Yeah.
But what did he run into?
You do not see him at present. You just heard the panicked motions of a little goblinoid creature running around, thumping into a couple of things, and then silence. Joel, I would like for you to also roll a perception based roll for me, because it is still
Okay.
nearby enough to where you might have heard at least the fuck from Sev slash Vrak as they landed, if not the commotion of the falling and
That's how you know that
panicked
Seb is
scream.
around when someone goes
Okay.
out in the
Yeah.
forest.
8.
8. You hear something in the woods. You have no idea what it is, but you do hear something.
I stop like a dog that just heard a sound in the woods. And I wait and see if I hear anything else.
Okay. In the meantime, Amanda, would you say that in the meantime, Rosa has continued to spend time in Fairy Tale Land as Thorn, and like helping out the aunts, or has she gone back to the real world as Rosa?
She is currently back in the real world as Rosa. She has a shift at the animal hospital that she has to put in for at the last minute.
Okay.
And she's not very happy about that. She loves animals, but she does not like being at her job. Because she went to school to be a vet, but she's more like a glorified office assistant that sometimes just gets peed on. So
Pico is our lovely goblinoid guest. Yeah, Pico is our lovely little goblinoid guest today. Has to chew on everything shiny because shiny. It's the way that it works. But yeah, so your shift is kind of going the way you'd expect. It's not absolutely disastrous. There haven't been any like major injuries, but it is kind of the tedium of day to day with understaffed, overbooked that you're having to experience. Luckily, you have managed to avoid being peed on today. You have had to clean out one of the kennels, though, which is just as unpleasant, honestly speaking. But yeah, so it's you've been in that kind of week. You don't really know what to think, or I would assume that you don't really know what to think about this mission that you've been passively given. Because it's not like you were given instructions or anything, and that kind of vague assurance of, you'll get a feeling and you'll follow that feeling is not anything to go on, honestly. But there's kind of that strange vibe of something is going to happen today, and you're not sure if it's like a full moon and you guys are about to get overrun at work. You're not sure if it's that your aunts are going to attempt excuse me, attempt to contact you. I'm sorry, that bird.
that's about how Rosa feels
It
right
goes all
now.
over. Yeah,
Pico
it's a
is
manifestation of the vet.
yes, Pico is our embodiment of the vet's office currently. Yeah, it's gotta chew, birdie, gotta chew. But yeah, so nice hair. Yeah, so it's, you're not sure if it's that your aunts are going to trying to get a hold of you. You're not sure if it's that it's like the full moon and you guys are going to get overrun at work. You don't know what it is, but something about today feels important.
I'm checking the calendar to make sure I didn't like forget to schedule someone's appointment. You know, the voicemail is ringing through, but so far it's just we have this one person that calls in like every time her cat just like doesn't have a bowel movement. And so we kind of know how to talk her through it, give her a call back,
Mm-hmm.
you know, talk her through it, calm her down. But other than that, it's just, I don't think there's anything important. Don't think any of my coworkers had a birthday I forgot about. But there's definitely something. And I just feel a lot more like anxious and just kind of unsettled than I normally do at work.
Okay. Yes. And it's like no one else seems to be feeling that more than like just the vets that are also always overbooked and having to do the job of three people each. Um, so it's just kind of one of those things of no one else seems to be treating this like a day and unlike any other day to them. Go ahead and give me a luck roll.
15.
15. Pretty lucky. Um, you do manage to finish out the shift for the most part. It's exhausting, but you do manage to finish out most of the shift. And it's getting to be evening, almost nightfall, in fact. Uh, by the time you start hearing something coming from one of the operating rooms,
I checked my watch. I don't think we don't normally schedule
no,
operations this late in the day, so that's
no, like
weird.
it's like getting to be closing time because it's not like you work at an emergency vet's office.
Mm-mm.
Like you guys happened to just be working until like 7 today, and it's getting dark earlier than is expected, really. But there shouldn't be any sounds coming from in there.
I grab a I try to grab like something that is going to be sort of like a defensive. Like I have key between my knuckles, but then
Mm-hmm.
also just like I don't know, a leash in case I have to lasso something up. You know,
It is a vet's office, so
I'm like
yeah.
there's just like I don't want to have to like like I don't want to grab a scalpel because then I have to like do the whole thing and I have to write it up and that's just more paperwork that I have to like worry about. And so I just kind of slowly make my way over to the sound because I'm thinking, you know, maybe just one of the critters got out and just has been roaming around back there. And I really just want to go home and I don't want to clean it up.
So reflections aren't as big of a like, oh my god thing for you. You have voluntarily been back multiple times. You go and visit. You have relationships with people there. It's like a second home. So you are not necessarily used to viewing reflections with the same wariness that Sev had, uh, but you have kind of also gotten used to occasionally catching glimpses of the other world and then just kind of having to reset your awareness. Um, this is the first time, like looking into this room, that you really notice how many reflective surfaces are in an operating room. Virtually everything in there is like stainless steel. A lot of it is brushed stainless steel so that it's not super reflective, but there is a lot of reflective surfaces in there. And on almost every single one of them, you see Sev trying to sit or stand back up from, or not Sev, Vrak, you've only met Vrak, trying to sit or stand back up from the middle of a path in the woods. And another one is Senor Fluffington, like frozen in place with his ears kind of twitching, trying to listen for something. And then in a third is a tiny little goblinoid creature that is like sitting dejectedly at the bottom of a hole.
Oh.
What a fucking motley crew.
Oh god, yeah. Brack is also, once they've sat up, they're trying to like get behind like a tree trunk or like some ferns, just anything that's gonna give them some cover from whatever they're looking towards.
Because you also heard in passing the from the goblinoid and then the fuck from Vrak.
Brack doesn't look scared of whatever's out there. They look more like they're trying to hide from the goblin.
So I look around and, you know, luckily it's late enough at night that there's no one else out there. And so I just kind of step forward and start calling out. I'm like, oh, hey, do you guys need any help out there?
Give me an intellect roll to try and speak through the reflection. This is even harder than moving your body through. So it is normally a 6, but you are considered it is normally a 5. You are considered practiced but not trained, therefore it is a 5. The reason why it was a 5 for Vrak was because they have an inability. They are not considered practiced.
Never done it before.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I rolled a 19, so
19, minor effect.
Dang.
Who are you trying to speak to?
I recognize Vrak. I see Vrak there, and so I call out. I'm like, "Hello, do you need any assistance, help, or anything?"
So, Vrak, you hear what would be Thorn's voice, without the accent, oddly, coming from a tree not too far away that also has that kind of glistening lichen growing all over it.
And I go, ah, fuck, what? Ah. And then I look over at the tree and I'll go, shh, I might need some help getting out of here. But
Okay, just one moment, and then I decide to step through.
Okay. So initially it did just seem like you were talking to a tree, because you were not able to catch sight of Rosa in a dark operating room. But eventually, Amanda, your character, Rosa, would be able to attempt to step through. Would you like as your minor effect that you don't have to roll for this? Or do you want your minor effect to have been that only Vrak heard you?
I would like to not have to roll to step through.
Okay. So yeah, you just easily step through, and because it is an auto success, we will say that you just drop gracefully to the ground nearby.
I see you, and then I make motions to like get down. Hide.
What's going on?
Do I hear this mumbling happening?
Go ahead and give me another attempted perception check.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I
rolled
pull,
a
like,
4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thorn
no.
down
Yeah.
and like try and drag her behind the ferns with me. And I'm like, if this guy sees 2 fucking elves out in the woods, he's gonna hightail it. We don't scare the shit out of him.
You do not hear them. You did hear the initial, like, weird sounds of struggle, and the woods are freaking birds. The woods are like unusually quiet.
Pico, don't eat the camera. Here, eat it food instead.
Well, that was
that-
the end of Rack. Okay, goodbye.
I got eaten by a bird.
Mm-hmm.
A
Giant
chocobo
bird.
just shows up.
Hey, it is fairy tale land, so like
It could happen.
complications in fairy tale land are fucking wild.
Having with the context of what you just told me, I'll also drop to the ground and try to crawl my way into like a bush by like a tree and just watch my surroundings. For
Okay, give me a
the
stealth
one.
roll.
Okay, well, I'm not good at those. Oh
Good.
no, I rolled a 10. I'm about medium.
About average.
Nice.
Okay, so you've got a 10 for your stealth for anyone that is attempting to observe you when they pass by. I think Pico
POV.
rolled higher than that.
POV, you are a bear.
Pico, you're
Yeah.
switching the camera.
I think Pico rolled higher than that because Pico is coming after you. By the way, Pico is a tier 5 enemy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
we're dead.
Anyway, but yeah, so you are successfully, as far as you are aware, hiding underneath a bush, and Vrack has pulled you. Yeah, Vrack has pulled you, Thorn, into like a thicket kind of behind a tree and is whispering about not scaring someone off because you're both elves.
Are you talking Goblin Villa? Because I did see him down the hole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's away from the rest of his band. He's gonna get fucking ganked out here. Anyway, just don't be seen. He'll lose his mind. Rack only refers to the goblins they, actually. Don't scare them. They'll lose their mind if they see us out here. Two fucking creepy ass elves crawling around the fucking woods.
Excuse me, I don't think I'm very creepy.
You are to a goblin.
I feel like that's not true, but I will, you know.
Why don't you
saw-
walk
you
up
saw
and say
what the
hi
goblin-
then?
Okay, and then
Don't you fucking do that. Just like grab the back of your shirt and pull you back down. There you go. Buddy.
Attack of the Wild Pico, our episode
He's gonna-
title.
Either yell if I put him in his cage or attack the camera if I don't. We're making this real rough, bud.
Birds.
We're making it real rough.
Birds.
On Olena here. Little dude. You're,
Birds.
You're my sandwich now.
Okay, well, it's good to see you again. What exactly is going on?
I don't know. I was gonna try and tell this guy to watch his ass, but I fucking fell in again.
That seems to happen to you a lot, doesn't it?
Second time ever. You've just been here for both of them.
Well, I guess I consider myself quite lucky then. You wouldn't happen to know where we are, do you?
No fucking clue.
Do I look? And I don't think I recognize this place. I don't think I've been here in my visits.
Probably not. It is not one of your aunt's normal stomping grounds, essentially. This is not where they would typically send you for most like ingredients and stuff. You can attempt to recognize it from stories, but it is a fairly high intellect history DC.
I don't happen to notice any like creatures, critters, animals.
They are all
Birds.
hiding from the commotion that was made.
I wonder why.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a screaming goblin and then a screaming elf falling to the floor.
I love the
So
idea of like literally all three of us, the animals in the woods, and this random goblin all decided to hide at the same time
But
because of each
Yeah.
other.
if
Yeah.
I remember correctly, you said he's hidden, but is not really.
I'm hidden.
he is as hidden as he is. It's one of those things of
They are.
or they are
Oh, sorry, my bad.
hidden
It's
as much as they have rolled. So if you pass close enough to the area that they are hidden in, you will have the opportunity to make a perception-based roll.
But who knows where I am?
Yeah, you also don't know where exactly the goblin in a hole is, because they were all different reflections that you were looking at. And you know that reflections can be like miles away from each other.
Oh, I turned to Frag. He's like, well, I did see that the goblin was down in a hole, so maybe it's trapped down there. We should probably go find it and help him out.
I mean, can just stay out of sight and do that?
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could just lay low for a bit. You know, I mean, if they're in a hole, I'm assuming they're already pretty low to begin with, so it's probably easier.
I mean, maybe let me talk to him.
Okay.
If they're in a hole, they're probably low to begin with.
And I'm gonna like army crawl up towards like out of the bush and see if there is a hole up there that I can see.
Okay, I would like a perception or search check from you for that.
Sure.
It is hindered by the fact that you are doing it at an army crawl. So what would normally be
Ooh,
a 3 is
19.
a 12.
Nice.
19, minor effect. So yeah, you got
I will
like
roll one of those eventually.
you've got like
Yeah, maybe.
I
the
believe
big
in you.
pointy elf ears
You know.
that can hear fairly well.
My elf
We'll
ears hear.
call that. So what do your elf ears hear? They happen to have heard the direction that the goblin was in. So you know to at least climb in that direction.
I found
you
a
see-
goblin.
Yes. Trying to eat all of the things. And being goblin-y. Because
Can you
I'm
not?
sure that the
5
camera
minutes.
is extra shiny for a bird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you climb, or you kind of crawl in the correct direction, and you see the like disturbed earth of like the scrambling of the goblin attempting to get away, essentially. And then you see where a tree was rammed into with something causing several bits of bark and lichen to fall off, and then
Right.
the start of essentially a sinkhole that opened up underneath it as it was running. And that's why there was just like thunk,
Right.
thunk, thunk, silent.
So Vrack will look around and just make sure there's no other creatures around, and then go, "Hey, you down there?" In a completely different voice than you've ever heard them use.
Oh, hello? What? Hi, hello?
Hey.
What's up there?
I'm a friend. Don't worry about it. Where's your band?
No band. What are you?
You a loner? It's complicated. Don't worry about it.
You know that goblins frequently use "what are you" in place of "who are you."
Yeah.
Nobody. You don't sound like a nobody.
I'm a friend. I want to help.
You're here to take my stuff, aren't you? No.
No, I don't want to take your stuff.
My
If
stuff.
you're down in that hole, something will eat you.
Nothing can eat me. I'm a frack.
Mhm, yeah. You're what?
A frack.
A frack.
A
I'm
frack.
fracked.
Nom, nom.
And like you can see that he's trying to kind of peek up to like whatever might be up at the top and cannot see you, and that is the very distinct look of a very suspicious goblin.
Get out of the way. I'm gonna push a log down. You can climb up. And I look over at Thorn and I'm like, bring a log over.
With all of this, because this is shouting, you do have the option to make another attempted perception roll, Joel.
Phenomenal.
This is
Let's
a much
see.
lower DC though, because they are actually
Natural
shouting at each other.
20.
Okay.
Yeah.
You hear
I hear it so clearly.
You hear it super clearly, especially since they are shouting. You distinctly remember the sound of that little goblin creature that you had encountered, and someone else with a vaguely similar voice shouting back at it. Something about helping to get it out, no band, dropping a log down so that it can get out.
Oh man, someone's constipated.
Gotta drop a log, man.
No.
Somebody's constipated and needs help getting the log out.
Anyway, I'm just gonna
I
slip right
will
past
go
that.
help.
That's how dogs deal with that.
I will I will approach, I guess.
So you approach from kind of angled to the side from where they were. Thorn, you would easily see Senor Fluffington emerge from underneath a variety of bushes and like ferns and things like that and start moving in that direction. I'm not sure if it's like quickly or not. And just as there started to be hints of birdsong and other animals being heard in the distance is when the two voices started shouting at each other, which made at least the local area quiet down again.
From a distance, I think Senor Fluffington is moving in the most intimidating, werewolf-esque, terrifying way possible. But it's just because he doesn't know what to do with his hands. So he's just like...
Good.
I feel like Thorn is currently kind of, found like a loose log that's having trouble tugging at it, and then just kind of hears these footsteps coming up like from the side, and it's just like ready to go on the offensive. Because she doesn't know where she is. She hasn't been here before. Her aunts have always told her how dangerous the other parts of the woods are.
Mm-hmm.
Is Rack still laying down?
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm just gonna see once I see you. I'm gonna just lay down next to you and just be like, "What are we doing?"
Frack like jumps a little bit and is like, "Oh, yeah, it's you, dog man. Hey,
Dog, but there's just dog. No man. Why are we laying down? Why are you shouting?
there's a guy and there's a goblin in the hole. And we're trying to help them out."
I'm gonna peek over.
Wolfman,
Not one
you
for
came
man,
back
just
for
dog.
my bag.
No.
My bag. You can't have it.
Okay,
Mine.
then stay in the. Are you just going to stay in there then?
You trapped me for my bag!
Like he starts freaking out and panicking, trying to cover the entirety of the bag with his body, and it is far too big for him to do so.
Thorn just follows the sound of the yelling with his log, and it's just like, "I'm here to save you."
Please don't hit me with the log.
It's the puppy. The puppy is back.
Frack's like, "Don't get down. Let them see you."
Yeah, sorry.
How deep is the hole, by the way?
The hole is maybe 10 feet deep.
Okay.
That's deep for a goblin.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Especially
jump
one
down.
that's like a foot tall itself.
I'm just gonna jump down.
Okay, I would like a might-based check. This is jumping / balance because it is a
I-
sinkhole instead of a like solid surface.
I have climbing, jumping, running, and swimming.
Okay, so
So
that
I'm
moves
pretty
it
sure I'm
from
covered.
a 4 to a 3, so bringing it to 9.
I'll
better.
because I've been rolling low, I'm gonna put a level of effort into this.
Okay, so that makes it a 2, so 6 or better.
16.
16, very nice.
Didn't even need to do the thing that I thought I needed to do.
Very nice. So yeah, amid like Thorn like dragging this long branch log like thing along with her to try and throw down, and Vrack still on like laying down being like, don't let it see you, don't let it see you. You just kind of leap fully into this sinkhole. The like dirt settles a little bit again from the impact of your landing, and there's just like this goblin that's going,
You trapped me from my back. Mine. It's mine.
and like spitting at you on occasion while still trying to
Good.
cover its overlarge bag with its entire body.
Do you want out of the hole or not?
It's mine. You can't have
Okay,
it.
you can.
She gave
if
it
you
to
want
me. She gave
the
it to
hole?
me. Mine.
Someone gave you the hole?
No.
Oh, but that okay. But I asked you if you wanted to stay in the hole.
No.
I can get you out.
It's my bag.
You can. I don't want your bag.
What are you?
A dog? I already told you this.
A dog.
Yes.
A dog. Okay, a dog. Oh, a dog. A dog. Yes.
Do you want out?
Yes, but my bag.
I'll. Okay, and then I'm gonna grab the bag. I'm gonna grab them by the scruff of their clothes.
Yeah.
Grab the bag and just throw it up.
Okay,
Just
give me a
Eat the.
might check.
Nice.
Like they probably weigh 20 to 30 pounds. The bag weighs maybe 15.
13.
13. Easily.
Nice.
Easily.
I just go, hey, catch! And just throw the bag. And then I'll probably just, I'll do the animal thing of like holding onto the back of his shirt with my mouth, just like as if I was carrying by the scruff, and just climb out.
Okay.
myself.
There is
Nice.
very distinct goblinoid screaming as soon as you just like separate him from the bag
Of course.
and put him in your mouth, or it in your mouth.
Yeah.
Its pronouns are it, they.
Fair enough.
It doesn't fully understand the concept of gender.
No.
Dude, same.
Right?
Yeah.
Big mood, y'all.
But yeah, so it like there's like
You need to stop making sounds, or you're just making
The
it
ent-
harder for everybody.
the entire time just it's like this really really bad alarm sound.
It's like a fucking cat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Yes. Very much so.
I will deposit him on his bag, sorry, as soon as we are both out of the hole.
Vrack scoots behind a tree.
Okay.
Like they were like lying down under thing, and then now they just roll to the side behind a tree trunk.
Okay.
And then because it's what has been taught to me, I will begin to just pet him to calm him down, because that's what I was raised to believe calms people down.
That is a true statement that you were raised to believe that. Oh my god. I'm dying.
I'm just imagining you petting him on his head, and his big floppy goblin ears just flopping with each pet.
But also, I have big mitten paws
Mhm.
with razor sharp claws. Like these are werewolf hands.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Yeah.
So I would like roll from Senor Fluffington.
Hello.
For coordination. You can choose to have that as either speed or might. I would also like a roll from Vrak for hiding. So I need a stealth roll from you.
To be clear, what type of coordination? Just to be able to pet
not
him?
gouge out this creature's eyes as you're trying to pet its head, because you've got sharp ass claws.
Of course. Good point.
Yeah.
I will
Okay.
put 2 point of effort into this.
Yeah. It's
I'll
basic.
be-
You know how to hold things. You have handled the kid before, so it's only a
Oh,
difficulty
okay.
1.
yeah.
It was a 7. I thought it was a nat 1 for a second.
Okay, yeah. No, so like it was only a difficulty 1. Putting in any
Okay,
level of
wouldn't
effort
I wouldn't have put
negated
effort
the
into
need
it.
to roll. Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
If I didn't know the difficulty was that low.
Yeah, it's basically just if you roll lower than a
Nat
3, then you injure it. If you roll a nat 1, then you injure its eye. That's all it was gonna be.
Okay. Cool.
You do like disturb its patchwork hat and the
Oh, right, it
object
has that.
inside that like just kind of falls off, which causes it to react violently. So I would also like a speed defense task or a might defense task, your choice,
I
as
will
it promptly
do-
swings around and tries to bite your paw.
I will do. Oh, so I don't know. Would this count as initiative?
It would not count as initiative. It's only
Okay, just
initiative
making
if
sure.
you enter combat after its initial reaction to you.
He's just trying to
Okay.
bite you. He's just trying to bite you a
I
little
will
bit.
do speed defense tasks then.
Okay.
I rolled a 6.
Okay, it does bite you, dealing
Dang.
1 point of damage. It's not even considered a light weapon. It is that weak of a bite. But it does deal 1 point of damage as it like spins around from you, like knocking off its hat and like forcefully like patting it on the head in an attempted pet motion.
I will pull away and snarl in the most werewolf way possible.
Yeah, which
Can I?
Joel, you have had Ollie accidentally punch you a couple of times. Dogs are not
Yes.
good at this.
No.
Thorn, you were saying something.
Can I, since I recognize the sort of like spiciness from this goblin being very
Yes.
similar to a kitten, like a really angry kitten, can I
Mhm.
roll to wrap it up in a burrito to try to calm it down?
Let's see what Senor Fluffington does first, but you can attempt to do that after we have resolved what
Okay.
he's doing,
Okay.
especially while it is currently distracted by Senor Fluffington. So it's
And the ending of doom.
yes. So like you try and like jerk your hand away and like barely get your paw / hand out of its mouth because needle sharp teeth. There's a reason why they eat rancid meat. They are carnivorous. And they and like it like kind of jerks back as you yank your paw out and you snarl at it in intimidating werewolf fashion. As Thorn, unperturbed by you, approaches with some sort of blanket to try and wrap it up. Do you continue snarling at it, or do you attempt to help? What are you doing in
Vrak
response?
will, from behind the tree, kind of glance over at this like melee that's happening and go, "Don't hurt them."
They hurt me.
It's a goblin. What do you expect?
Nothing. They're not supposed to be real.
Excuse me?
I
No, you never met a goblin before?
don't. I no. I will continue snarling at the goblin because I am an injured dog that has helped this person, and now I'm being betrayed.
Oh.
And if anyone knows anything, is that you don't buy the hand that frees you.
Okay.
So you've never met a goblin before.
So, Thorn, with your attempted burrito, the goblin is a tier 1 creature. It was mostly the scenario causing it being easier to bite Senor Fluffington's paw because it was right there, which made the roll hindered. But it is not difficult to try and get the goblin wrapped up. Would you like to attempt to put effort on this
Yes.
as a speed task? Or, and like, just make it so that you don't have to
Wrap 'em
roll?
up real fast.
Or did you want to roll against a difficulty 1?
You know what?
Three or
I'll
better.
roll against the difficulty 1 because that's
Yeah.
just funnier.
Fish
Three
from the
or
nat
better.
20.
It was a nat 20.
It was a nat 20.
No way!
So, like, as the goblin starts snarling in response to Senor Fluffington, so we've got Senor Fluffington going, "Rah," and then the goblin going, "Ah, ah," right back at it. Like, full spittle effect as well. Like, you are getting spat on in the middle of being snarled at by
From
this
both
tiny goblin. Like, legitimately tiny goblin. Do I have a ruler somewhere around here? Like, it's literally a foot tall. It is a tiny ass goblin.
To be clear, I am also spitting all over it because I have as much intensity. We are both offended at each other.
Yeah. You see, like, Thorn, who you had interacted with that week ago. It is the friendly elf lady. Not the unfriendly elf, but it's the friendly elf. Because there was one of each.
Yes.
Just
we have
like-
both varieties.
With exquisite skill, just blanket, promptly wrap up in a way that is almost familiar to you. Because you've had this done to you at least once.
I'm pretty sure, I don't know this, but I'm pretty sure that same person has done this to me.
Potentially speaking, just wraps them right up so that, like, pretty much they've got their head, but their head doesn't have a lot of movement to be able to try and whip around and bite her.
Seb hears snarling, Seb hears the goblin hissing and yelling, and they'll like look around the tree branch, and then they're gonna roll to their feet and be like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Everybody, calm the fuck down!"
And I feel like
Demeanor
I'm
of
just like
command.
holding.
Yeah. Yeah,
I am
you've essentially
invoking my
got
demeanor of
a-
command.
Yeah, you've essentially got a baby wrapped up right now. It's not an actual baby, but you've essentially got the equivalent of a baby wrapped up for a nap. And it is snarling at you now and struggling and going,
My bad, you can't have it. She gave it to me. It's mine.
I am licking my wound.
So when Seb comes around the tree, or Vrak rather, when Vrak comes around the tree, you've seen them before. The goblin hasn't, obviously, but you haven't seen them like this before, and they're not aware that they're doing it.
okay.
But they stand up a lot straighter, and there is like an aura that comes off of them that tells you this is someone that you should listen to, and you should probably listen to whatever it is they just told you to do because they're very important.
I'm back.
Okay, I'm just like, I can still see you on my screen. So
Okay.
you are, like, impressive, and, like, there's just this aura around you, and you approach the baby Bjorn-ish looking goblin.
And I'm coming out from behind the tree in all my tall, lanky elven glory, and I'm like, whoa, 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 everybody needs to calm the fuck down.
No.
Putting some emphasis behind those last words, because that is the command I am giving.
Okay. So I believe that Demeanor of Command gives you a bonus to your next social interaction. Okay.
A free level of effort on a persuasion task,
Okay.
and 1 round of talking. If it seems like violence is going to break out, it pauses for a round so we can talk
Okay.
things out.
All right. Cool. So
Kick
like
ass.
It's pretty good.
the goblin at least responds to this aura of brief calm and stops struggling for like a couple of seconds and can't quite see you with the way that Thorn is holding it.
Yeah.
How do the other two of you react to Vrek suddenly coming out and not being the Vrek that you remember, but actually like composed and having like this whole aura around them?
I think I'm in the middle of licking my wound,
No.
and I just pause and stare, and then put my foot down because I had already forgotten that I was in beef with the goblin.
Like a good dog.
So I would like at this point, they're telling me to stop, so I'm putting my foot down because that's what I was doing.
Nope.
And I probably just immediately just stop while I'm holding the gun.
Just
I'm
drop
just
it.
like, no, I'm not gonna drop it. Just go, shit. And then I
Everyone
just
chills the
turn,
fuck out.
yeah, and then I just kind of rotate the goblin towards Brack.
So the goblin can now see you.
And we're all looking.
It like goes from like being confused and kind of looking around to a look of sudden like significantly more suspicion and aggression and hisses at you again.
I hiss back at it.
I
I said,
love
calm
the.
the fuck down.
I love
This isn't what it looks like.
Its
the
reaction
fact
to
that
everything
you
is
just told
suspicion.
the two of us to chill out, and then you went and did the exact same thing. So good.
Yeah, it's
He
just,
hissed at me.
it
They hissed at
responds
me.
to everything with suspicion. But
Yes.
it's like,
Listen. It looks like I'm your enemy, and it looks like I'm going to fight you. I don't want to fight you. I don't want to take your stuff. I just want you to get your stuff and get out of here and don't fight us, okay?
It's mine.
You gonna go? It is.
Um,
It is yours. I'm not gonna fight you for it. I don't want it.
She gave it to me.
No.
Eddie, I want to look in the bag.
okay, it is turned the other way, so it can't see you looking into the bag. So,
I'm gonna Scooby Doo my way over there.
okay. Do either of the other two of you react to Senor Fluffington kind of shuffling closer to the bag?
I'm just gonna stay I'm holding on to the goblin. I'm just kind of,
Okay.
you know,
Letting
basically
and
I put it up in air jail, you know, just kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, because I'm tall, I've actually kind of crouched down and I've got my arms resting on my knees. So I'm like folded down into a little like crouching position. So I'm looking like less of a threat to this poor goblin.
Okay.
And I'm trying to like look him in the eyes. I'll bring down the glasses and be like, I don't want to fight you. I don't want your stuff.
Okay.
You don't fight us. You get your stuff and you leave.
Okay.
Right?
So I would like to point out two things before we get to what Senor Fluffington finds in the bag. First, you do need to make a interaction roll. It is not considered positive at the moment, but it does have a bonus from your demeanor of command. Two, goblins are very similar to like frogs and toads. Like they're going to be very different based off of where they are and different factors that come in. So it is recognizably a goblin. It's like a little tiny goblin. It is very different than what you are familiar with, but it did still react to you the way that you expected.
Yep. It doesn't matter the realm. Things are kind of the same everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially as far as that's concerned.
But yeah, so what did you roll on your interaction?
I haven't rolled yet.
Okay.
Am I trying to influence someone else's mind?
Yes, because
All
this
right.
creature does not have a high intellect and is very suspicious of all of you and trying to
So I'm
defend its
trained and I
territory.
have 1 level of free effort.
Okay, so that takes it down from a 4 to a 9 to a. So a 4 to a 3 to a 2. So 6 or better,
2.
yeah.
How about a 14?
Very good. All right, so it does seem
So
to be
I've got, like,
contemplating. It
like,
is,
looking
does
it in
seem
the
to
eye.
be complicating, and it like kind of chomps at the air a little bit at you in a
Yeah.
way that you recognize as like kind of testing the waters to see
Yep.
if you're going to back down. In the meantime, Senor Fluffington is opening the bag. All right, so it does seem to be a variety of wadded up fabrics, inside of which are pebbles. And at the bottom of, or like inside of one of them, sort of like, have you ever opened up an old like shoebox from the back of your closet and it's like got tissues wrapped around a random keepsake that your parent kept? That,
No.
but an entire bag of it. Most of them are pebbles that like you can feel, and then like one of them is a candle, another one of them is a small vial, and the last one looks like a stick.
Good.
I am going to take the stick
Okay,
because I like sticks.
you too.
It's a good stick.
What type of stick is it?
Gnarled, maybe 8 inches long, kind of curling in strange fashion, narrower
That's like
on one
what?
side.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm gonna skedaddle into the woods and try to find a replacement stick.
Okay, give
I'm gonna-
me a
yeah,
search
Jones.
check. Yeah, give me a search check. You are in the woods, so.
I don't have anything for well, herbology wouldn't apply, but I know plants.
You do. I'll give that eased by 1,
What's my difficulty?
2, so now it's a 1.
8.
You're in the woods. You're trying to find a stick in the woods.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
Seems like a
8.
thing you could do.
yeah.
I am not rolling very well today. 8.
But you still passed.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you grab a stick off of the ground underneath one of the disturbed bushes from the sinkhole, just kind of rip the leaves off of it and like quickly wad it back up and stuff everything back into the bag without any difficulty. It is still currently distracted, trying to kind of like silently challenge Vrak, but is significantly calmer and is like,
Mine. Yes.
Yep. I will now
Agreed.
just hide the stick in my clothes and be done with whatever it is that I'm doing.
Agree. Yeah.
I agree. Let them go. I let them go. And Vrack will like back off a little bit, like the goblin's little gnashing of teeth scared them, which it didn't, but they understand.
okay. So you unwrap it and let it go, or do you just kind of set it down on the ground still wrapped up?
I want to set it on the ground, like still wrapped up, but then I do kind of loosen it a little. So
So we can wiggle out.
yeah.
Okay. So there is a long moment of it kind of struggling because it's wrapped up, even if it's loose. So there's a long moment of it struggling, which kind of gives you that last couple of minutes of opportunity to fix your intrusion to the bag the way that you needed to. But when it does finally,
It's like I was never there.
but when it does finally like kick itself out of the tangle of the blanket, it looks around at all of you suspiciously, grabs its bag, throws it onto its back,
Mine.
and starts trying to waddle quickly away.
Elves.
Good luck over there, little boy. You're not trying to go far, are you?
Seeing her again. You can't come. Mine.
All right, by me. I don't want your shit. What? I look at the other two and was like, what?
And who is it that you're going to see?
And then disappears around a tree.
I took the stick.
I just immediately turned. You did what now?
I'm kind of just sitting on the floor, and then I pull out the stick from inside my shirt.
It is very distinctly a witch's wand.
Immediately starts gnawing on it.
Oh, hey, hey,
Ah.
where is she? I call up after the little goblin.
As it tries to run away faster.
You know what?
Follow that goblin.
Enough with-
Like, look at Senor flipping on him. Follow that guy. That goblin. I want to know where they're going.
Okay, and I start, and I guess I'm gonna follow the goblin. I will use my nose.
Your nose. Okay.
Yeah.
Good plan. You have a good nose.
Yeah, I'm
We
tracking.
will come back to your tracking after a quick break. Let's say we will be back in about 5 or 10 minutes as we all refresh on our various beverages. And I do believe that a Mr. Twist Gets a Biscuit was redeemed, so he will also
Yes,
get a
indeed.
biscuit on the break because, again, background issues. And I keep saying the word biscuit, so he is coming running.
Good
I
boy.
was I hear
Good boy.
already.
Hi,
I'm gonna wrangle some
baby.
birds.
Hi, Bubbles. Are you gonna sit on the? Can we see the dog? We cannot quite see the dog.
Are we still in the stream?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to cash in the
Ah,
Mr. Twist Gets a Biscuit.
no, no,
I
no,
just
I am
I
displaying
see.
the biscuit, and the biscuit disappears into nothingness.
into the void it goes.
Somewhere there's a happy doggo.
But we will be right back. Bye. We're back. And I might have scared at least one of my players while we were on the Be Right Back screen. It's no big deal.
It's good. It'll be very fun.
It's no big deal. It's not that scary. It's not that scary. I promise. But yes, so you rolled, I believe it was. Did you roll for your tracking yet? I don't
No.
think we did. Okay,
No, we
so
went to break before I did.
uh, so
Oh, laugh like that.
we have a lovely, excuse me, a lovely scenario where you have found a witch's wand among the little goblin's possessions as you searched through its bag while it was distracted. It is now shuffling at haste away from all of you because of the entire scenario. And Vrak is saying,
Fair.
follow that goblin, essentially, like someone getting into a cab in a movie.
And then they dart back into the woods where they fell, and they'll grab their guitar and back, and then dart back out.
Okay, so you are now attempting to track, which you have an asset from your nose.
Oh,
And
okay.
it is not trying to cover its tracks, which is a second asset. So what
Nice.
would normally be a difficulty 4 is now a difficulty 2. Do you have any training and or skills that would add on to that?
Nope. But I have a free asset from the chat. So I'm just going to use that now.
Okay. So that drops it down to a
you can
1,
let-
so you've got to roll a 3 or better.
How about a 10?
10.
Nice.
That succeeds. So you start, you start moving and sniffing. Track it. Okay, you know that it went around that one tree.
I'm holding the wand in my teeth, by the
Yeah.
way. Like
You-
I'm not letting go.
Yeah, you know that it went around that one tree. You saw it go around that tree, and it smells like it went around that tree too.
Oh,
Yeah. So like, Vrak gets back. Rosa is there. Thorin is there. And you start tracking after it. I'm guessing.
At a
So-
distance, like I imagine the goblins
I'm-
like trudging down the road, and then like Scooby Doo style, we're like ducking behind trees in the background.
Well, I wasn't given those instructions, so I'm just booking it.
Yeah. I would like you to roll an intellect defense, please.
Me?
Yes, as you go.
Senior Fluffington.
5.
So as you start booking it in that direction, your tail starts to wag. Your body starts to shake and move. And
Yep.
you start dancing. like dog dancing, so it's like prancing and wiggling because dog dancing. Because you have been cursed with the irrepressible urge to dance by one of the
Nice.
pebbles that you handled.
Good. Love to see it.
Okay.
So, like, you guys see Senor Fluffington start booking it in a particular direction, and then wiggle, wiggle. Happy wiggly dancing dog, occasionally up on his hind legs, and then he's just going forward in the weirdest fashion after this goblin with the wand still clutched in their teeth, because they're like, ah.
I don't say anything. I just assume they're a really happy dog. Dogs are just happy sometimes.
It's true. This is so
They
within his
just really
character.
love that stick. Yeah,
It's a really
they're
good
just
stick.
yeah. They wanted the stick. They have this.
The dog found a good stick.
Yeah.
Found a stick on the ground, and now I'm gonna use it. All this power that
All
I
the
found.
power that I wield, I am going to totally abuse it.
Yeah. But yeah, so you are just trotting along, enjoying life, following the tracks. Okay. And like it
Yep.
does not take too long to catch up to the goblin as it like you reach kind of an embankment and it's starting to go into kind of a hilly cave-ish area.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you're able to catch up with the goblin with the stick still in your mouth.
I'm like, stop! We're following you!
It like again. What the hell? Yet
I
another
got it.
bot.
Ooh. Really out there tonight. Oof.
Jeez.
I imagine us two elves are hanging back because Rack would certainly be like, just come back here. And we'll like stealthy through the woods
Okay.
after.
I am turning on
For our good
followers
little
only
dog.
chat. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry,
That
on
will
followers.
at least, yeah, that will at least make it so that it's harder for the bots to
Give us a follow and then you can chat.
Yeah, there you go.
to block
Always get
list.
notified when we go live.
There we go.
Exactly.
Yes. So
Don't miss this chaos.
follow to prove that you're not a bot. But yeah,
You're the dancing dog squad.
so the Dancing Dog Squad is following because cheerful dog, and then there's a dancing dog in the background.
Your husband and
That was great.
Hi, husband.
That was so perfect. What the
Has
fuck?
been hit by the curse as well.
Holy shit. That was the most perfect fucking timing ever.
Okay. Wow. Did he hear you talking about the Dancing Dog Squad or anything? He just happened
he
to
might
be
have
dancing?
been.
Okay.
He might have been. He might have just did that
dancing.
on his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I can,
that was
I
on
can see
his
that
own.
happening with people in general. But yeah, so
Wow.
like stick in mouth, stop. And the two of you, what did you say you were doing?
I was trying to get Thorn to like hang back with me and stealthing through the trees, trying not to be two elves, obviously following menacingly.
Okay. So it does stop and go, "Ah!" when you say stop. And then it spins around to look at you.
We're supposed to be following you, but you're not moving anymore. Do it.
Who's we?
What?
What's we? Who's we? What's we?
Me and those two over there.
What are you?
I'm dog. Dancing dog.
You don't look like a dog.
I am. In fact, I am the best dog.
What are you?
A dog.
A dog.
There is no recognition on its face.
Okay. I'll just keep dancing until he starts moving, and then I'll start dancing behind him.
So, like, there's this long moment of suspicion before it starts to turn, checks to see if you're trying to grab it or anything, and then turns and starts waddling away.
Scurrying little goblin and a dancing dog just following along.
I start following him doing
Ivan.
the.
I
Vibing.
turn to Vrack and I'm like, does this happen to you often? Like with the little goblin thing.
Goblins are cool, man. You don't mess with them.
Fair enough.
You are close enough, Thorn and Vrack, to have seen the complete lack of recognition on the goblin's face when Senor Fluffington
Weird.
approached it. I would like the two of you to also roll intellect defense rolls.
Oh, did I curse you guys?
Oh, I'm trained in that actually.
Okay.
Is this a mental attack?
Technically, yes.
Cool, so I'm even one step harder and I only rolled a 6, so
Okay.
hit me.
There's a dog person? You have no idea who Senor Fluffington is. You do not recognize or remember them.
Oh
as the
no!
curse starts to take full effect.
Good.
I am a dancing unknowable dog.
Yep.
I'm trained in intellect defensive tasks, and I rolled a 12.
At least one of us is.
Better than average. Like, the dog is strange. You mostly recognize them. You're pretty sure that their name is Senor Fluffington. You're
Do I
also
know
pretty sure that
myself?
you should, like, you know who you are, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you're also pretty sure that you should know who that is. You remember knowing them. You don't remember them fully. It's weird. But
I
yeah, Vrac,
actually
you have
will, like,
no idea
stop
who this
For a second. I'll stop for a second. I'll be like,
dog man, wolf man
stop.
is following the goblin now.
Wow,
Because you
where
don't
is
even
something?
remember your interaction with them, telling them to follow
That's
the
fucking
goblin.
cool. That's fucking metal.
And I turned back and was like, that's Senor Fluffington, you know, the...
Did you make up that name? Because that name is perfect.
Well, they're...
Great.
Well,
Love it.
I mean, I don't know how I know that. I'm sure I've seen them around before, I think.
But yeah, so two of the curses that you are currently under from...
Two off?
Yeah.
Two off?
Yeah.
Two of.
From
Just two of.
interacting with the
There's more.
pebbles that you were touching
Good.
are
You were
the
wrapped.
irresistible urge to dance. And
Mhm.
no
I do love
one
it.
remembers or recognizes you.
I am so happy about this.
Good.
I'm putting out the show of a lifetime and nobody will remember.
Dancing dog.
By the way, as the goblin is walking away, I am now headbanging right behind as he walks.
Yeah,
Nice.
perfect.
I've changed dance styles.
Okay. But yeah, so he is... Or
I
it
like
is-
nudge Thorn and be like, see these fucking they're fucking metal. I love it. I love this dog. It's a great dog.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know where we are. We might as well follow it. It's kind of entertaining.
You guys do remember the goblin.
Yeah.
The
No, we're following
goblin
the
had
goblin. What are
something
you talking about?
to do
Oh,
with
yeah.
a witch's wand. And
Yeah.
it has since been joined by a
Dancing dog.
dancing dog man that Thorn is sure she knows and should know more than just their familiar.
Like, they might be a bird I've seen in the markets that one time. I don't know, but anyway, it seems to be going with the goblin. So
Well, I mean, like, don't let the goblins see us. We're two freaky elves. We'll scare them. But, like, let's keep following them.
yeah,
The subtitles replace goblin with government.
Can I get another
Don't let the government see us.
valid?
Absolutely.
Absolutely
also
fucking
that,
valid.
So fair.
So fucking valid. Can I get another d6 roll from you?
Senor Fluffington?
Yeah.
Man. 6?
Okay. Okay.
No, don't. Don't laugh. That makes it worse.
So as you're dancing along, headbanging, and you follow this goblin up a very scrambly path up the side of this kind of rocky embankment in the woods, your clothes start getting a little too big. And then much bigger,
No.
and you're gradually dancing out of your clothes.
Am I shrinking?
No, your clothes are growing. Characters' clothes are suddenly much too large.
I mean, okay, I'm a dog. I don't think I have a concept of
I'm
modesty.
laughing too much.
Yeah.
But also, I'm still dancing.
Now you're a naked dancing dog.
And now I'm a streaking, naked, dancing, unknowable dog.
literally dance the pants off of
Yes.
this.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I am understanding the implication of what I have done to myself.
Yeah.
It was gonna. Oh no! It's a 20.
You said 20, and I
Two
rolled for
curses.
how many of them were curses and how many of
Oh,
them
boy.
had already taken effect on someone else.
You just get to touch all the things.
I,
All of them.
So
as a,
for the chat, who was not present during that roll that we did between break, I had Joel roll a d20 to determine how many objects Signor Fluffington went through in the bag.
and I rolled a natural 20.
Fully
Yes.
20.
Yeah. And I went, okay, because two of the objects were the stick and the candle. The rest were seemingly innocuous pebbles. I then rolled a series of d4s, and the number of natural ones that came up are the number of those that still retained the curse.
There could be a few of those.
Which is 3 of them right now.
There could be
So far.
There could be a few of those if you're rolling 20 times.
I rolled 18 because two of them are the candle and the
Oh,
stick.
Well, that's fine then.
That's
Law of
nothing.
averages, that's probably only 6 curses.
Man, I really hope these are the kind of curses that are like
That
really
fade
lame
away.
and just go away after a while. Yeah. This is gonna change my character's story for the rest of the game. It's
So-
Great.
As you as the clothes become solidly too big for you, the feeling of needing to dance does start to dissipate. So at least that is weak.
Think dog.
Thank dog.
Thank dog.
But yeah, so you are no longer feeling the distinct need to dance and have suddenly realized that the very nice clothing that you were wearing when you first appeared in Fairy Tale Land and have been wearing ever since is now much too large and falling off of you.
I didn't think I danced that much. I guess I'll just. I was gonna say I'll take them off, but I feel like they've already fallen off, so I'll just.
They are starting to fall off, yeah.
I'll
Like
just
your
gather
pants are
them.
sliding off of your tail and your knees, and like your shirt is like around your shoulders as opposed to like up on your shoulders and back. It's a lot.
I'll just take off the pants
Mhm.
and then wear the shirt as a toga.
Okay,
Oh, nice. Yeah.
sounds right. Sounds right. And you've got like a really big sash to kind of tie it closed, so makes sense.
So I don't have my character streak on stream.
Probably a good thing. Probably a
Yeah.
good thing.
I am also still right behind the
Yeah.
goblin.
It doesn't
Because I
seem
was
to
about to fall.
notice. It does not seem to notice you. You guys go ahead and make another
creeper
intellect
elves.
defense roll.
I'm still bad at these.
Mm-hmm.
I only rolled a 10, so who's that guy? I don't know.
I rolled a
Oh.
19.
19.
Ooh.
That's Signor Fluffington. They were there when you met Vrack and on the lake. You have overcome the curse as your minor effect. Vrack, as Signor Fluffington, kind of goes behind a tree / rocky outcropping as you guys start to climb after this creature. There's a dog following the goblin that you were following?
I peer around the tree as we're like waiting to follow, and I'm like, oh shit, there's like a fucking cool werewolf there, dude, man. It's fucking metal.
It just like keeps repeating.
Wow.
And I turn around and like,
That's
I mean
definitely
that's Fluffington. We sent them to follow the goblin for us. Thank you,
Rosa,
okay, Rock.
Rosa, you're pretty sure at this point that it's the curse. You're not sure if it's on Signor Fluffington or if it's on Vrack.
Okay, and that's why I turned back and was like, "Are you feeling okay?"
I mean, no, I'm in fucking fairyland, so everything sucks. But
Fair, fair, yeah.
at least there's a cool dog guy.
Yeah, he's not dancing anymore, but his
No, he
carrying-
is.
I don't remember that he
but
was
they-
never
oh,
dancing.
they are dancing still. Okay.
Yeah, no, I once it stopped, I fixed my clothes, and then I was like, you know, I was really having fun dancing.
So yeah, dancing
Yeah,
dog.
just with much less flow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I look horrible.
Yeah.
I was the curse instilled me with the talent to dance.
Very good, very good, very good. But yes, so as you guys get up the cliffside and further into the woods, heading towards what seems to be foothills before a series of mountains, can I get another d20 roll from Senor Fluffington?
14.
14. Okay. Less funny, but not horrible.
I don't like that.
But yeah, so as you get up there,
Mhm.
Rosa, go ahead and just give me a base intellect roll to try and figure out which of the two of them is cursed.
Oh, I was like, "Oh no!" I was like, "No, it's a 7." I just had a moment of like, "Oh
Again,
no!"
is it a
That
7
happened
or a
to
1?
me earlier
Yeah.
this session.
Yeah.
It's so
No,
scary.
it's a 7. It's a 7.
So, you know what? Despite the fact that Senor Fluffington is currently carrying their pants, you're still not quite sure which of the two of them it is with that 7.
And I'll go through the
because
same script again because like a tree passes in the way, and I'm like, oh, cool.
yeah,
There's a fucking
because
dog guy there. That's awesome.
because while
so fucking metal.
Senor Fluffington is carrying their clothing and it's weird, they are also chewing on a wand that might do some weird stuff to the things around them, and Vrak is the one that keeps having sudden amnesia. So you're just really not sure which of the two of them it is.
I just kind of am like now doing like the goblin shifty eyes to like both of them, just like.
I love that Frank has exactly the same thought every single time they see a little chihuahua werewolf. They're like, yeah, rock on. I love this.
I love too that was your reaction on the previous
Yeah.
episode when you
Yes.
met him for the actual first time too.
Yeah,
It's just
so
how
good.
it works. It is
That's just
just
how Frank
how
thinks
it
of
works.
Senior Fluffington. It's just like,
Yeah.
Brad
Rad.
is so genuine.
it's fucking metal.
Yeah, it is. It's fucking metal. So go ahead and give me one more intellect defense task, Vrak,
Oh,
to
okay.
see if you
I'm
can
so bad at
overcome
these.
this. Yeah,
Oh, that's an 18.
18.
Nice.
That is good enough. You
Nice.
are not fully cured of it. There is still the risk that if it does become prolonged, that being out of their presence for a prolonged period of time, that you will forget they exist.
Cool. I mean, that happens with everybody who's not as cool as me, though,
Yeah.
so.
That's fair.
But suddenly, yeah, you remember meeting them that first time when you first fell through and into the shop, and standing directly next to them when you guys were on the lake. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Standing right next to them when you guys were on the lake. And this whole, like, you were the one that told them to chase after the goblin.
Vrak kind of like shakes their head for a second, and then they blink as they come out from another tree and see Senior Fluffington again. They're like, when did they lose their pants?
But yeah,
Fluffington like just strip for some reason?
I think they quite literally danced their pants off.
Rad. I dig it.
oh my
I mean, who hasn't, right?
god, I'm fine.
It happens
I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
to the best of us, honestly.
Oh no.
As someone who has worn pants just a little too big before
Oh man.
and lost my pants while walking around slash dancing around the house,
It happens.
it does just happen sometimes. Oh my god. I'm
It's
fine.
true.
Uh,
Holy
I'm fine.
shit.
So I'll like shake it off, and then I'll be like, right. Anyway, so we gotta find this witch, and I gotta get her to curse me.
No.
Yeah.
So
The first time Rax said why they want to follow this goblin.
And I just said, okay. And then I turned back up. Wait, you want the witch to cuss you?
Oh fuck yeah, witches curse are rad.
No, they're not.
I just have a moment of like,
Anyway,
I hear
that's
like all
sweet.
three of
That's
my
what
aunt's
Vincent found?
voices in my
That's
head,
that's
just
fucking
like
found. That's like definitely like a witch wand.
I'm hearing like all three voices of my aunts like at once, just like screaming out from the void, going like, no!
yes. Yes, every single one of them.
Yep.
Do you want me to roll for your next curse, and that will reduce it to being your last? Or
I'm not
would you
I'm
like
not a
to-
coward.
Okay.
I have
So
many things. But if I can gamble with my own character's life, I will fucking do it.
Hit me.
roll a d6 again.
A D6.
Yeah.
5 again.
Okay. So you begin dance. You feel the urge to start dancing. You never really stopped. So now it's just like it shifts into it is an irrepressible urge to dance once more.
Hell yeah.
Maybe that's why you never stopped. You don't know.
Sure. I am dancing yet again.
But yeah. So they
By the way, I am like right behind the goblin as well.
yeah. It like
Like,
has
just
started
prance
to
along.
notice what you're doing, gives you weird looks sometimes, and is like sidling a little bit so that the bag is less in reach and it can watch you. But it just kind of, since you don't seem to be reaching for it and are just traveling behind it, and it forgets that you exist every time you are out of
Right.
sight. Every time it just kind of turns a little
That's
bit
right.
too far away.
Kind of there.
It kind of forgets that you're there. And then it notices you and gives you a weird look. And then as it turns
Okay.
away, it forgets you.
Okay, but it's really funny from our perspective. But imagine you're just walking down the street. You turn around and a fucking werewolf is fucking busting
Right
a
there.
move right behind you. Like
Just full on
uncomfortably
hammer
right
time, just
behind
back and
you.
forth. Except without the pants.
Yeah. Half naked. Wearing a fucking toga out of a big shirt.
Right.
I'm just imagining you would start running and then just be like, wait, why is I running? And you turn around and you're like,
And there's
oh
a werewolf
no!
dancing there.
This is a horror movie for that goblin.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's this moment of suspicious turns.
Yeah, I don't remember anything.
I'm alone. Holy shit.
What
So
a
you
parade.
do
And then
get
these
the
elves
occasional
just, like,
goblin
creeping from
yell,
bush to
like-
bush behind them.
Like we're
It's-
just like,
Every 5 turns or so, it's like goblin yell. And then it turns to run, and then it's just waddling instead of running.
I mean, you know, though, Vrak fell through that portal to keep this goblin safe, and a weird escort. Keep them safe in the woods.
Yeah.
I can see monsters seeing the situation and just being like, nah, man, I'm out. I don't want any part of this. I don't know what's going on over there.
which is what surprises me, like that Vrak is like, I want to be cursed by a witch. And I'm like, you literally, last time I saw you were complaining about the entire concept of this universe. So I'm just having this moment of like, just like equations like popping in my mind. Just like,
Oh man.
To answer chat, when it sees the dog following it, dancing behind it, it is not, oh yeah, that's happening. It's, what the fuck? every time. It completely forgets the existence of the dog.
I really hope this is an area of effect and not everybody that has ever met me is currently forgetting me. Oh
We'll
no.
see.
Abby just gave me a weird look.
So,
Oh no.
as you guys get into the foothills,
Yes.
it does start approaching what seems to be like a further glade or open area of the kind of foresty terrain that you had been going through.
Mm-hmm.
And as you see it step into it or step towards it, there is mushrooms lining the entire border of the glade. You guys can also see this at a distance, so you do have time to react prior to Signor Fluffington stepping in to the mushroom circle in Fairy Tale Land, if you so choose to react in some fashion.
Actually, I'm gonna breakdance over the line.
Breakdance over the line. I stand
Nice.
corrected. Sit corrected.
Just moonwalk it. Turn around to face us and just moonwalk back
Just
into
moonwalk. I was gonna say I'll do the worm over it, but that
Oh,
was
yeah.
Moonwalking is very fitting for a werewolf
That is true.
character. I mean, moon.
very true.
Yeah. So, you guys do see it pass through and into this mushroom circle. Signor Fluffington is doing whatever Signor Fluffington dance, and can either choose to continue following it or not. But you guys also have that second to react prior to Signor Fluffington doing whatever.
Mushroom rings are bad, right?
Generally, to be avoided, yes.
Yeah, no, I'm following. I was told to follow and not to avoid wings.
I have a moment of hesitation as I see Senior Fluffington like approaching
Just
it, and then you
it's
just
just
straight
like,
up moonwalk
no.
into it. I'm like, well,
Okay.
Like literally reaching out,
going
just
in.
like, I'm like,
Okay, so you see the goblin waddle through at a clip, and then you see Signor Fluffington waddle through, and it starts getting kind of hazy and smoky as the two pass into the territory of the mushroom ring. Are you guys?
I'm gonna sprint after them.
You're following, okay?
I'm impulsive.
Thorn
Let's
is
do
standing
this.
outside of it.
I am so glad I came up with my backup characters concept yesterday.
And I would like one last d20 roll from Senior Fluffington for the last curse.
14.
Curse get.
14.
I am so happy I did not roll an at one at any of those.
You rolled 2 14s, so re-roll that for the d20.
Okay. That's not concerning at all. 9.
Oh, that's
A
good.
9.
Oh no.
You don't know if it's the passing through this mushroom circle or what,
Uh-huh.
but as your clothes shrink to their normal size again,
Okay.
and the urge to dance fades,
Okay.
it's accompanied by this strange sensation around your hind feet as you slow and then look down as iron shoes grow around your paws, and you are cursed to wear iron shoes, which currently hinders all speed action.
Oh
Hmm.
no.
Nothing like being a speedy character with iron boots.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I'll just fucking lead this shit. Eventually I'll take them off and I'll be extra fast.
But
Because that's how that works.
as you, Vrak, dart into the mushroom circle, Thorn staying behind at the edge, it's getting gradually smokier and cloudier. Vrak, you see the goblin stop in the center of this perfectly circular glade. All of the mushrooms from inside appear to be glowing. and it does not seem super hazy and smoky inside. Nat
Thank you
22
so
to
much.
Archivist.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
A nat 20 is also kind of what got them in this spot, though.
Also true.
But it's fun.
Yeah.
We love a nat 20.
But as it stops and looks
We love a
up,
curse.
you see this swirl of purple and green, smoking, sparkly energy begin to coalesce in the center of the air above this mushroom circle. Thorn, I would like you to make a perception check to see if you can see it past the hazy border.
Nat 20.
You can see
hell
perfectly.
yes.
Your elf eyes
Nice.
see into the magical circle. But yeah, so you can see perfectly as like a particular area gets a little bit more shadowed and then colored with greens and purples and sparkly lights as it billows out into this flowing figure. Long gossamer lace train behind her dress that is elaborate in the wildest way, with strange slashes all over it that somehow manage to stay together, despite the fact that it does look like the dress was kind of put through a blender, but it's still staying on her body with this lace train in beautiful, deep, dark plum colors and hints of emerald jewels all over. She is tall at maybe 7 feet, with long, long limbs, and while Vrack and Senor Fluffington and the goblin see a beautiful enchantress in this strangely tattered clothing. With that nat 20, you see past the illusion, Thorn, and are able to see a hulking hag figure with gnarled grayish brown skin and long stringy hair that has appeared before the goblin and bends really, really far forward, with its nose nearly touching the ground, to peer suspiciously at the goblin before a wide, cracked smile appears. Senor Fluffington and Vrack, the enchantress is beautiful, mocha dark skin with wide green glistening eyes, hair in deep dark black and purple, delicate ringlets around her face and down her back, and she tilts her head gently at the goblin and smiles charmingly, and then looks up at the both of you, smirks a little bit at Senor Fluffington.
I mean,
Like
I am
she
in the
knows
process.
something.
I am in the process of getting dressed.
Yeah.
So
Like she knows something. And then looks at you, Vrack, looks you up and down, and hums slightly.
I put on my best charming grin and I'm like, hey, how's it going? I don't want this to come off the wrong way or anything, and I don't mean this as an insult, but are you a witch?
no, I'm a dog.
No, because I'm looking for a witch. I would very much like to meet a witch.
Oh no, just dog.
I see that I have guests that have joined my funny little friend that brings me back trinkets. And then she sets out a hand, and the tiny little goblin goes rifling through his bag and pulls out the candle and gently places it on her hand, and she smiles charmingly at you guys again. Thorn, what you see from outside of the circle again, with that nat 20 seeing past the illusion, are a couple of nearly broken, four-jointed fingers that reach forward and pluck the candle just gently out of the little goblin's hand. And she is staring at Vrak as she does this.
I'm still turning on all the charm.
Yeah. Her gentle laugh came across to you, Thorn, as a little bit more of a cackle.
I go and grab my bow and just kind of have it in my hand, just kind of at the ready, just in case.
So, I would not call myself a witch. That is somewhat of a cruel misnomer. Yes, I can perform magic as I gift my adorable little friend. And she gently taps the goblin on the top of its head. And you have not seen a goblin blush before. Somehow it still happens. Thorn, there was a spark of light as the hag touches the top of the goblin's head, seeming to re-enchant it with something.
Mm-hmm.
And she lurches forward, step by step, toward Senor Fluffington and Vrak.
Frank says, I don't mean it as an insult, but like, if you're not a witch, I don't think you have the kind of magic that I'm looking for. I specifically need a witch's curse.
Does she smell good?
Give me a perception check.
16.
16. She smells like home.
Oh.
She smells like everything that reminds you of home.
This is a good person.
Vrak, there's that same knowing smirk that she gives you. Perhaps with the right compensation, I might be able to assist. It seems that your faithful hound, and she smiles a little bit broader, has a bit of my cast-offs, perhaps taken from my little friend. And the little goblin kind of beams up at you guys with a wide row of sharp teeth.
I'm like, oh, they didn't mean to take your wand. It's a nice stick and they're a dog. But like, no offense, man. I'm assuming that is your wand, right? Or is it somebody else's?
I was not using it anymore, of course. Simply a boon for my little friend, for the little mischief that he likes getting into.
Hey, goblins love mischief, man. You can't change that.
They do like having fun. What exactly is it that you wish to have happen?
And I'll like look around just to make sure nobody's listening in, except I guess for Senior Fluffington, who's like right there.
Thorn, as she asks, what do you wish to have happen? You see through the illusion that the hag's hand has come up and is like pointed beseechingly at Vrak.
And I just get an arrow and I just kind of like am about to draw it back, ready, just aimed at the wrist, just waiting for that moment.
Senor Fluffington, person smells like a good person, is interacting with them. You've still got the whole shoes of iron thing going on. Are you only paying attention to the enchantress? Are you paying attention to the goblin? Are you trying to look around? What is your basic attention going? Because you're not the one asking for the boon from the witch, so what are you doing?
In true Chihuahua nature, I am acutely aware of everything that happens around me at any given time.
And you shake because of it. Okay.
Yes.
Overstimulation.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I would probably be paying attention to my surroundings as well as the lady.
Okay. Go
Actually, I
ahead.
feel like sorry. I feel like at the moment that I notice that she smells solid, I'll
Mhm.
just be like, okay, whatever, and then just look around for anything else that may or may not be important or
In that
interesting.
case, you would definitely notice Thorn's reaction. She has taken out her bow and has an arrow knocked and ready to shoot at the enchantress.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. I think. Okay. I think I will wait and see if anything happens
Cool.
Okay.
Then
before
I will continue my negotiating with this enchantress.
Okay.
I don't think
And it, well,
Señor Fluffington understands what's happening as much as
see, I
I
kind of
may.
need particular witchy kind of magic, and I don't know if this is something that you're up for, but like I saw the witches one, and I thought, hey, you know what? Give it a shot, right? Doesn't hurt to ask. This whole thing sucks. Just all of this. Gesture broadly at the entire elfishness that they've got going on. They're like, I need you to turn me into a goblin.
And the enchantress seems to look you up and down again, still seemingly in a knowing fashion, glances at the goblin, and then reaches forward to touch you on the face.
But yeah, hello. Uh,
Vrac allows it. Vrac seems like they're like got their arms open. They're ready for this. They want.
yeah, hi, hello.
Hey, just
No, no,
I'm in the
hold
middle
on
of
a
the thing
sec.
here. I'm in the middle of the
But
thing.
no, but like
It's fine.
they're
It's fine.
they're like an archer over
Uh,
there.
Thorn, do you react in any way to the hag attempting to grab Vrak's face?
Am I hearing what Vrak is saying?
Probably. You are still not sure which of the two of them are cursed because all of this has kind of happened at once. And again, simultaneously with things that could explain what's going on with Senior Fluffington.
Also, walking up to a witch and asking them to curse you seems real weird. Nobody does that.
Yeah.
hell?
So I go and I let it go, but I want it to kind of. I'm not aiming to hit the enchantress. I unleash it to get her attention.
Okay. So do you kind of
To
try and
disrupt-
shoot between her and Vrak or at her feet, past her? Where are you aiming?
I feel like I'm aiming at the space between her face and Rack. Like I just like an arrow like right at the tip of her nose.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a ranged melee attack roll. I believe that your bow is a medium, I think.
Maybe. I'm gonna look that up really fast.
It might be a light weapon because are you an adept?
I am an
Adept base because you were I
yeah,
think a
light
princess
weapons
or something.
I have light weapon
Okay, so it was
as
probably
well as medium and heavy, but light was like my specialty.
Okay, so it was probably a light bow in that case.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's fairly easy to draw. Light weapons are faster, so that eases it by one. That's why I asked.
Okay. I'm gonna re-roll that because that kind of ended up sideways.
Okay.
That was a 10.
10. All right. You don't roll a special effect, and you also don't roll a nat 1 to accidentally hit Vrak. But it
Cool.
does
Thank you.
stop her as she, like, The gnarled face finally turns to look at you. Hand still slightly outstretched, but not quite touching Vrack.
Vrack will also jump back as the arrow passes between them and then like look around and be like, hey, what the fuck?
There is a distinct snarl on the hag's face, and her hand curls into a fist instead of continuing to reach for Vrack, and she steps back and glares
Whoa,
at
whoa, whoa,
you,
whoa.
Thorn. The enchantress, you see Vrack, has dropped her hand from the gentle caress that it seemed to be, and is just demurely holding them before her, and she's looking not necessarily even offendedly at Thorn, just like she's emotionally hurt by it.
Yeah, and I look over at Thorn as well if I can see her through the mists.
Mm-hmm.
And I like lock eyes and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm in the middle of something here.
Once you are past the fairy ring, the barrier of the mist and fog is gone. So you can see through it just fine. It's just seeing into the circle that it's difficult.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say to Rag, it's like, you're not seeing what I'm seeing. That's a hag.
Like tall, kind of long nose, creepy hands.
Yes.
Great,
The
that's
very
exactly
same.
what I want. Awesome. Hey, I like turn back to the enchantress.
Yes, Senior Fluffington,
Would I know anything about hags?
give me an intellect roll.
2. Not at all. In that case, I shall continue to wait.
Okay.
And I just look at Vac. I was like, Vac, it's a hag. What do you want? With her
I
kiss
want
of
her to
magic.
curse me. It's fine. Don't worry. I've done it before. It's great. I kind of need a curse right now, actually. So like, just keep your arrows to yourself or whatever.
I look at the hag and I look at Vac. I was like, I better not regret this. And you see me, the end arrow I have knocked, I put it back in the quiver, and I'm still holding on to my bow, but I'm not going to step into the fairy circle, and I'm just going to watch.
I'm like, turn back to the hag and I'm like, before we go any further, like, what do you need for this boon? What are you asking me to give up?
The hag does continue to glare for another moment at Thorn before reaching into what seems to be maybe a side pocket. Rosa, you can see that it's a belt of a various amount of baubles and little pouches, and takes from the pouch what seems to be a silk wrapped little item of some kind. You can't tell what it is at the distance that you're looking at it, and just kind of drops it into the little goblin's hand before like wiggling her fingers, and he like nods and goes and like runs off with his bag.
Can I see what it was that she gave him?
Silk wrapped item of some kind. Small.
Why did I have to play a stupid character?
Like, legitimately, you would have to open it to see. It was not long like another stick. So, what that might be, you don't know. And then she'll turn to you, Vrack.
Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Was that to me or?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm also here. And
Yes,
it
sure are.
I'm not super familiar, but I feel like if you have a guest over and then another guest shows up and then you only show attention to one of them, that's a hi. I'm also here.
You are, aren't you?
Yes, hello.
Do you have a wish?
Kind of.
What do you wish of me?
I don't know. I feel like I want something, but I don't know what it is.
I suppose I could help with the knowing.
Okay.
Before we sign a deal, though, like, what do you need for these boons? What do we owe you? Everything comes with the price, right?
Service.
That's what Fairyland's all about.
Oh no,
Service.
can't do that. Sorry. Anything
No,
else?
sorry, man. I'm not into that whole thing.
I already
Uh,
have a family, so
You would not go and fetch things for me, make deliveries, as the young goblin does.
Nah, I'm kind of like on my, kind of like doing my own thing. Not real big on servitude.
I like doing our own thing as well.
I got some great information I could trade you, though.
I don't
Can't
know
you just-
if you are useful to me. And the smoke begins to billow again as the figure grows into this hulking fat hag figure again. And at this point, both Signor Fluffington and Vrak can see her true form. And the rips and tatters that had kind of been just all over the place and somehow managing to stay and artfully be positioned across her body are now where it's just that parts of her body are too big for the dress that she wears and are like tearing holes in it and peeking out. And it's stretched across her form. And she
Rex
leans
is
forward.
strangely unfazed
Yeah.
to see a hag.
And she leans
her full
forward at
glory.
you both. And that large, wicked grin spreads again.
Why should I not just kill you? Come seek
get our
me
service if we're
for
dead.
no boon. No trade
Right. I'm not
of
saying
what
I won't give
is
you a boon.
needed.
I'm just saying service is not my bag. You don't want me as a servant. I'm a real shitty servant. But there's other stuff I can give you.
Work for pay is how I do.
I wouldn't ask you to do anything else. I'm just saying your price is not one that I'm willing to pay, but I got other stuff I can give you.
So instead,
Also, do you really think you could kill us?
my meeting.
And we will be coming into next session either resolving this conversation or rolling initiative.
I feel like I know what's gonna
Excellent.
happen.
Excellent.
Ah,
Good.
but that is where we are ending, as I seem to have implied. I hope everyone enjoyed it. You guys okay? You doing all right with your iron boots and curses and stuff?
Listen,
Dude,
I did not get cursed nearly enough this session.
I am so ready to dropkick a hag
With iron boots?
with iron boots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ready.
So that will be fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the session. I definitely enjoyed it, and I do still have water, so I am very glad because it is getting very warm up in the upstairs because it's going to be a hot weekend. But yes, so we are still raising funds for Congo for Tomorrow. Check out the QR code at the corner of the screen or the link that is in chat or in description, depending on if you are watching on Twitch or YouTube. We do simulcast every other Friday from 8:30 Eastern / 5:30 Pacific to 11:30-ish, 3 hours we try to go. But we will catch you next time. I am Evie, the Disaster GM. Pronouns are she, they, or any. GM for this fine disastrous group and director of Alter Deco Archives. Let's go in reverse for our outros, starting with Amanda.
Hey everyone, my name is Amanda Johnson, aka Panda Cabra. I am a TTRPG performer, and I also am occasionally doing some tech stuff behind the scenes. And you can find me on Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram at Panda Cabra, or Panda X Cabra if you can't find me on Instagram because someone has the name and won't give it up. So yeah, I am currently looking for a job. So if you have some freelance work you want to throw my way, I am a video editor. I also do a little bit of graphic design on the side, so feel free to hit me up. And I am looking forward to the next session.
Very cool, very cool. Cast links will be either in description or in chat. Let's go for Joel.
Hi. Hello. I'm Joel. I got a couple things. You can find me on the internet as Joel Writes, JOWEL Writes, essentially everywhere, which is also where I am not really at anymore because I kind of don't use social media anymore. But if you want to keep up to date with what I do, our Discord's AA's Discord server, I post my updates on there. I obviously every other Friday I play Senor Fluffington on this beautiful game with these beautiful people. But every other Sunday as well, not this Sunday, next Sunday, I am playing Baldur Mistforge on Empyrean Rising, also on here, which is a lot of fun. I will be on Roll for Felicity on Twitch on the 31st. I need to look up the time. We're going to be doing something a little bit different than a game. It's going to start at 3:45. Stream starts at 4. So in the evening on the 31st, I'm going to be on a bit of, it's like a talk show. We are going to, from what I understand, we're going to be reading stories off of Reddit from Disaster, Dungeons and Dragons, and TTRPG games, and we're going to be commenting on them. It's going to be very different than what I'm normally on, so I'm excited.
Very cool.
I am also a writer. I have, this last week, I posted chapter 15 of the Lake of Crimson Tears. Act 1 is officially 100% complete, and we're now getting into the find out portion of the book. We're getting a lot of answers and also a lot of questions. It's a lot of fun. If you want to read it, is the Lake of Crimson Tears. I post on AO3. I also share the links on Discord, so you can read those.
Oh.
And then that is all of what I do for now.
Mm-hmm. Links are also on Joel's card, which is part of the cast description links below.
Right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, our lovely Alina, who does some of our art.
Hey everybody, I am Alina Pete. I have been playing Vrak, who is insane and will just march up to Hags and be like, yo, hit me. Give me them curses. I love it. It's good. You can find me also on Empyrean Rising, playing KLRT, Obsessed Dragon, which is a lot of fun. Or on Trash Heroes every other Tuesday, although it was Thursday this past week, on my channel, twitch.tv/WhereGeekComics. If you are in the greater Vancouver area, I will also be at the Museum of Vancouver on August 30th, launching the new comics anthology, Indigenerds, which I was the editor on.
Nice.
So you can come on out, and
Cool.
an admission to the Museum of Vancouver will get you admission to our meet and greet with a bunch of contributors from the book. It's going to be a really cool night. Chance to meet a lot of Indigenous comics folk. So
Very cool.
if you're in the area, come check us out.
That is so
Very
insane.
awesome. That is amazing. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
I get to dress real fancy.
Very, very cool. Oh, God, that's awesome. But yeah, so check us out every other week. Go watch people in the things that they are in. Go visit Alina with the Indigenerds thing, etc., etc., etc. We will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great evening. Bye.